What were you doing right before you went to war?
Working in the woods, in the logging camp. I think I was 19, and I graduated from high school. We lived on a community called Michigan Hill, between Rochester and Centralia.
How did you get called to serve?
Drafted. They were just drafting up to 21s. And then when they started drafting 18s, then I was in the first group of them to go. Brother John went to work in the veneer plant. He bought us a big radio, but then we'd have to, it'd run off in a car battery, and then we could play that till the car battery went dead. And then we'd have to wait till Dad went to town, leave it there for a week, and then he'd go back and get the, then we'd have radio again. Well, you had to go, I mean, you had no choice. They told you to go, so you went.
What branch of service were you in?
It was the Army. First I went to California, Camp Roberts, and then back to Camp Livingston, Louisiana, and then we went from there over to Hawaiian Islands, and from the Hawaiian Islands we went down to New Guinea to the Leyte, and then from Leyte to Luzon in the Philippines. But it was interesting, you get them hillbillies from down south, and they'd never driven in a truck or anything, or drove one, you know. And that was nerve-wracking when they were taking their driver's training to ride the same damn truck they were driving.
What were the travel conditions like?
Well, on the ship we went over on seas, it was, if I remember right, it was supposed to be one of these luxury liners, and when it was loaded to go on a trip, it had 700 and some people on it, and we had 5,000 and some troops on it.
Wow.
Like in the alleyways where they walked down to go to their bedrooms, well, they had one line of bunks on one side of that went clear up. There were probably, I mean, maybe 5 high that slept in the alleyways that way, on bunks they had set up. We never had no bathroom facilities at all on it. So they took a nail like a 2x12 along the sides, run it over the side of the ship, and that's where you used for a toilet. You had a fire hose at one end to keep flushing it all the time.
So everyone just like
Open thing on the fantail, and they just pump the water out of the sea, and you could never get clean. So in that big ship, they had a regular big kitchen, big galley, because of where the travelers ate and stuff. But on the others, they had a kitchen set up out on the deck, and then you just get your mess kit, and they had them all what they call range stoves. Then you go there and get your food and go sit down someplace and eat. It was just Army chow.
How long was the trip?
Well, we left New Orleans, went down to the Panama Canal, then Hawaii was 17 days. And then we left Hawaii and went to New Guinea, it was 17 days.
Before this trip, where was the furthest place from home you had been?
Just down to Oregon.
What was the goal of the Army mission?
Well, to beat the Japanese.
What was the land, climate, and culture like in the Philippines?
It was humid and wet. And I don't know, it wasn't very comfortable. That was one good thing about being down there in the South Pacific. You could go out and take a shower right on the deck sometime. It rained so hard. You had to wear your damn long fatigues and everything all the time.
you have heat stroke.
Otherwise, the mosquitoes and stuff to eat you out.
Oh.
See snakes. I stayed away from them though. I think they call it Alazone tablets. You got to carry a pack of them with you. So if you was out and needed water, and you just go by a stream or something,
Oh.
and fill your canteen up, put one of them in there and let it sit for a while.
And then it killed.
Then you could drink.
Did you meet many of the local people?
Not too many. Because we never got in the towns or anything. We were always out in the jungle and stuff.
You had brothers in the Army at the same time.
Yes.
Did you see them when you were in the Pacific?
I saw my one brother on Leyte, and the other brother was in Europe. Yeah, we were on Leyte and just getting ready to go on Luzon. Then this one morning, I heard that the 32nd was moving out. So I asked the captain if I could, any chance I could go up the road and see if I could find him. So he's sure. So he got his Jeep and the Jeep driver, and we got in there and headed up the road. So here these guys were sitting along the road taking a break, and I says, is this so-and-so artillery outfit? They said, yes. I says, is Paul Grunenfelder? Yeah, he's back a little ways, sitting down taking a break. So we went up there.
Nice.
He says, it's a good thing you looked me up, because I never would have known him. Well, at night before you went to bed, you had to dig a triangle thing like, then there's a big foxhole up front. Then two of you slept, and one stayed on guard. And then when his turn was up, he'd wake one of you up, and you'd be guard. And that's the way you stayed out there like that from dark till daylight.
What did you eat?
Rations mostly, sea rations and 10 and 1. They'd have a box, it was supposed to feed 10 people for one day. Otherwise they give you these cans of sea rations and you'd eat them cold. That's the reason why I went from 155 down to 122. Was that damn hepatitis?
Yeah.
And then if you didn't take your Adabrin, you had a good chance of getting malaria. And they'd always send these little negritos out. They wanted to go on patrol. So they'd send them out in the daytime. And of course, a lot of times Americans would go on patrol too, what they called combat patrols. And of course, the Japanese, finally one day they had this, I don't know whether he gave himself up or whether they captured him, but he was sitting there and he could speak English. He was educated in San Francisco and stuff. And he said, you know, we could have killed a lot of you guys if we'd have wanted to. He said, but we knew if we'd have done anything, there'd have been just 4 times that more of you the next day out there after it.
What are you most proud of from being in the war?
Pardon? I got the Purple Heart and 2 or 3 other ribbons with brown stars on them. Well, I was in my trench, and then I had my helmet and my rifle and stuff down by my feet. And that grenade just luckily happened to roll in the helmet. Somebody hollered, you better get some help over here. We got some people over here that's hurt. So the old captain, he got on the ball. He called for that one special Jeep they had where they could put you on a stretcher, hang you on it, and then take you back to this supposedly be a field hospital. It was just a tent. Sometime during the daytime, then they took us down where they could load us on that little airplane and fly us into the hospital. And when you got back to that hospital, it really wasn't a hospital. It was just like a big high school auditorium. And they just had beds lined up like it. And these nurses would come around with their little carts bigger than this with all their supplies on. And go around and change bandages and everything. What about there was no private thing at all. I think I was about 6 weeks.
Did they make you write letters home to people?
Yeah, you're supposed to your folks anyway.
So do you do that?
I wrote once in a while.
Did they ever write back?
I used to get letters from Martha, and but the folks never did write them.
No.
Radio, like I say, we were waiting to go packing our stuff and getting ready to go to Japan. And we had that radio out in the company street. And you just walked up and listened to news if you wanted to or what. So as soon as they found out they signed the treaty and everything else, well, then, like I said, we were down on Baton.
So then I still
we
had
had
2
to
weeks before.
Get our stuff all cleared out of there. And then we went into that big tent city near Manila. And we were there from, that was August till October.
When did you come home?
October 31st, 1945.
How long were you gone?
I left on the, I think on the 17th of February in 43 till November the 7th, 1945. We come into San Pedro on the ship. They had this big blimp-like thing flying over it, and they had this one movie actress. I think her name was Connie Francis, if I remember right. She sang a few songs, and then we come in and docked, and we sat there until 3 o'clock in the morning. When we got off the ship, went into the camp, had breakfast, and the German prisoners of war were serving us. And I bet they thought we had eaten for months, because you could have all the bacon and eggs, anything you wanted. Just go back
Yeah.
for more. And instead of toothpaste, you had tooth powder. And they come in them cans. So them guys, they told them about how they was gonna, everything they was gonna do. So them guys would dump their tooth powder out and fill that can with pictures and stuff they wanted to bring home. Guys were really giving us a bad time. So all we had around there to offend ourselves with was crates of oranges. So guys started carrying them oranges up by the crate. And them guys would come out there and stick their head around behind them doors and start hollering this stuff at. About that time, there'd be about 500 oranges. A chance to go get spruced up a little bit. Then get our duffel bags and stand in line to get on the train and head north.
What did your family say when you got back?
Just, hello? Well, we worked around home a little bit. We had a lot of fences to fix and stuff like that. And I did go back to work in the woods again. Ted Johnson, he had that barber shop at the Phones Road, that little trial. He got captured on Baton, and he spent the whole war in a prisoner of war camp in Japan.
Have you ever been to the World War II Memorial
Yes.
in Washington, D.C.? Okay. What was it like?
Beautiful.